Gator Hazelnut, what are your classes that you play?
No, you get the important stuff out of the way first.
You're alone.
No, I need
You're unfortunately still
an
alone.
impromptu intro. So.
Yeah, you're still alone, Respawn.
Yep.
Sorry, buddy.
Four Titans and a Hunter? Is that
No,
what's happening?
no, it's three Titans, a Warlock, and a Hunter.
Okay. Who? Okay.
Gator's
So
a
I'm the Titan.
Gator's a Warlock.
Which one? Okay, Gator's a Warlock. That's what I need.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So we found a Warlock. They do exist.
Why should I be worried right now?
No. You're fine now. Later on, it gets troublesome.
I see.
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and thanks for hanging out with us today. Welcome to episode 40, 40, of Guardian Downcast. We're a couple of dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe. We interview content creators and other folks in our community to find out more about them. And finally, we discuss other things in gaming and entertainment as well. I'm your host, The Gator. And my co-host, Mr. Hazelnut, is here as well. How you doing, man? How's your week been?
It's doing all right, man. Doing all right. I'm glad to know we're at 40. We're now officially at more episodes than the years I've been on this earth. So, like
Nice.
30 more, and you'll be there. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But aside from that, this week's been pretty good. Just working from home, hating my life, but yeah. So, it's fun to get yelled at by people in your own home that isn't your wife or your kid. So,
Excellent, man.
yeah. What about you, man?
Yeah, it living the dream, man. Living the dream. My work hasn't really changed. I work outside, so I'm pretty isolated from people already. But it's getting weird, man. It's starting to sink in that we may be living this way for a little bit. I hope not, but we'll see. Well, good deal. I'm really excited tonight, Hazel, to introduce these guys. They're the three co-hosts, I should say, that make up Two Titans and a Hunter podcast. Nitedemon, Peroty, and Respawn. How you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. How are you doing? Sir? It's a pleasure for you to come to our show. Yeah, because that's how that works. And living the dream. Yeah.
Okay. Peroty, how you been, man? You doing all right?
Oh yeah, I'm actually really impressed that tonight I actually got off work before we started recording this because it's been a series of long days every day, every week. So I'm just happy to have had a little bit of a break to actually play the game we're going to talk about tonight before we talk about it.
Good deal. And Mr. Nitedemon, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much.
It's okay. You don't have to talk to him like he's people.
Okay. We're going to have a great night. This is going to be fun.
You really are playing up tonight.
Yeah. This is going to be great. Well, hey, just an overview of tonight's show, guys. We're going to we're going to interview all three of these guys and get to know more about them. Then these guys are going to take over the podcast, and they're going to talk about the TWAB, other details about Destiny today. Just a little taste of what their podcast is all about to maybe some of our folks that haven't heard them. All right, guys, you ready to do this?
Yes.
Yep.
Open the document, look at the page count, and have a minor panic attack? Because that's usually the response we get.
No, ours is a few pages. That's it. It's an outline basically. So we like to give a heads up to our guests of what questions are coming your way. So
Yeah, but just so you know, our page count doesn't matter because whether we have 21 pages or 2 pages, it still ends up being a 3-hour show. I don't know how we do it.
We've been trying to figure that out, Respawn, and I think the way I think me and Hazel have talked about it is we kind of have 2 podcasts in one. We talk about entertainment, we talk about other gaming, and we talk Destiny, and of course we have all these other segments like the speed run and our Discord questions and stuff. And we end up doing 3 hours, 2+ hours every time. So
nice.
We haven't figured it out.
That's what's nice about your
release?
podcast, though, is that you do something else.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we've copied from several different podcasts that are here presently and in the past, so
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
If it makes you feel any better, Nitedemon will steal some of your ideas too. So
Absolutely, and we'll probably take some of yours, so we're good.
No,
Yeah.
you take my ideas, I'm coming after you.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
that's the one thing though that I do want to steal from you guys though is I want to go more into the TWAB than like a 5-minute recap. Like,
Yeah.
You are more than welcome to come on each week and go through it with us.
No. That is a trap, okay?
We have this hunter. We could rename the show and make it 2 Titans and a Warlock, or 3 Titans and a Warlock. I mean, we're flexible.
You know what would be better? 3 hunters, no warlocks.
oh no.
Or no titans. That's what I meant.
Oh,
Someone did anybody else
wait.
to help you then?
A hunter and a warlock. I like it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'd last 5 seconds. Well, hey, Hazel, why don't you start off, man?
Yeah. Sorry, I tuned out when you said a hunter and a warlock during the podcast. I was like, no, I'm good. Next.
Oh, what? You too good for me? You think you're too good to do a podcast with me? I'll show you.
No. Actually, my second choice would be hunter, actually. My daughter loves the hunter, and I've been screwing around with it, and I really like the hunter. I like the hunter more than the cheat codes warlock. So, yeah.
Well, and I have to admit also that I've been playing Titan lately with the shoulder charges, and oh my god, they're fun to play in Crucible. And hunters are good. I mean, they got their little flimsy knives and all that stuff.
Although, has anyone seen a hunter? Because, I mean, I've played maybe an hour or 2 in the evenings every day this week.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone to the tower and, I've talked to the nice granny and got my bounties and went to go get my medals and then went and, tried to at least do 3 or 4 of them. I haven't seen any hunters. I mean, they
Parody. Stop poking the bear. Leave it till later.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I stood next to the banner and it was a little bit taller than me, but not by much. So.
Oh, no. Well, we want to get to know more about you guys. So, Hazel, why don't you start off the questions, man?
All right. So, tell us a bit about you guys, about your podcast. You can start with that, and then you can go individually and just kind of tell us like where you are, where you're from, what do you do, just whatever you feel like sharing, family, things like that.
Cool. As the fearless leader of this podcast, I will tell Nitedemon to go first.
Thanks.
No pressure.
Yeah. The podcast really kind of grew out of the fact that we had, I think it was Guardian Radio and a couple of other big podcasts that I used to listen to, like I think it was Crucible Radio as well. They all kind of started shutting down around Christmas time back in 2018. And we'd been kind of running a band chat in our clan with just telling people, where to find information and just helping other people in the clan where to find stuff and, tips and tricks from YouTubers, anything we found on Reddit or anything kind of just useful that we'd heard in the community or we'd done ourselves. If there'd been something wrong with one of the bounties, we'd be telling each person in the chat just to keep people informed. And I was saying to Peroty one day, maybe we should kind of do something like a podcast. I said, these other podcasts are kind of disappearing. And I really enjoyed listening to Guardian Radio because they were a lot more informative. They really deep dived into the TWAB. They gave you a lot of information and they had a lot of varied opinions on there. You had My Name is Bife, you had Bell Bunny, and towards the end you had Mesa Sean. And it was a really nice kind of mix of people to listen to. And they kind of slowly decided they just didn't want to do it anymore. And then the same with the Crucible Radio guys. They were like really focused on helping people in Crucible and giving a lot of tips and tricks. And they had a lot of helpful interviews from Bungie. A lot of the devs came on and actually discussed weapons and guns with them. I found it really, really interesting. And I was kind of sad that they were moving away. So I grabbed Peroty and we kind of, I think it was over the Christmas we were chatting about it, and then I made the big decision of bringing on Respawn to
by big you mean best. That's
to
what you're looking for.
add
The
some
ringer.
Best.
Yeah, he has opinions that sometimes echo what the rest of the community are feeling or want to say. So yeah.
Nice.
Like an entire angry Reddit full of salt in one human being. We just wanted to condense that down and bring it to you in one person it would save you a lot of time reading and complaining. So we just brought it to you and just condensed it.
Yeah.
I am sodium chloride intolerant. I have no salt. I only speak the truth.
So that's kind of how the podcast started.
Yeah. In the beginning, though, I will say that I like what it's become, right? Because in the beginning, Nitedemon wanted to keep it very kind of by the book, very professional, and you won't believe the amount of stuff he's edited me out of, like honestly. And over time,
it's still by the book.
Yeah, over time, he kind of, I don't know, gave me more freedom, less editing, right? And I don't know, to me, especially with Peroty. Without Peroty being there, I wouldn't get half as much done as I do, because Peroty is like the best enabler. Because like just now, he's poking the bear, right? The demon's like, you're poking the bear, stop it, because that's what he does. He gives me a direction like an angry pit bull and just lets me go, right?
You take the thunder crash, you have to point it somewhere.
You gotta stick the lightning rod here and let's see what happens, right? And I think ever since Nitedemon started to edit out me and Peroty being me and Peroty less, I think that's when the show really got popular. We really started not less informative. We still have the same amount of information, but it's become more fun, more.
It came down to editing time, really. I mean, my wife was sitting there after 2 days going, "Have you actually finished doing that editing now? You've taken 2 days to do that."
I told you.
Just leave me.
No, he had to edit a lot of me out, and so that's actually not a joke. But no, whether it's just because the sheer will to not edit things, or because this is a formula that works better for us, I think I like how we've evolved from what we were to what we are, and hopefully what we will become in the future. I just jumped in there. It's not my turn. Sorry, but that's what I do.
No, just fire it out whenever you hear it.
Who? If not now, when?
Well, when you're talking, obviously.
That's where it goes best.
Right.
Either when Nitedemon robots out, or I just lose the ability to speak.
Yeah.
Or just, when it's a day ending and why or you're breathing. One or the other.
Yeah, I mean, just, hey, if there's empty space, I am not afraid to fill it.
I think you have a decree from on high to fill the empty space.
Yes. I'm high. Wait, no.
No, you're eating. Go back to your dinner.
I already
Peroty
ate.
is like the ultimate setup man.
He is.
You notice? He sets you up perfectly, and then Respawn just crushes it.
That's what I'm talking about. I wouldn't have nearly as much stuff as I do if he wasn't there. Like the times whenever Nitedemon, I don't know if you guys have listened to those shows, but when Nitedemon is gone and it's just me and Peroty, it's chaos, right? And when Peroty's not there, Nitedemon kind of I make him sigh a lot, but it's not as entertaining, right?
The book is out the window then.
The book is out the window.
But so tell us about yourselves. What do you guys do? Where are you from? That kind of stuff.
So I'm from Northern Virginia, but not the Northern Virginia that's good with the internet. I'm from the Northern Virginia with the cows and the apple trees over the mountain near West Virginia, but not quite there. So I grew up, in very much in the country on a farm where I couldn't see any neighbors. So living in a city is still a little weird to me. Just a little bit background-wise, I went to school for graphic design and advertising, learned I hated advertising, fell into IT work, and now I'm doing a bunch of WebEx and Zoom support. So I fell right backwards into just absolute madness. I don't think I've worked a normal day in months.
Wow.
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at right now. Like I said, I was happy to be able to be here tonight and not have to end up working and trying to keep up with the world on fire of video nonsense.
Respawn.
I was gonna let you talk about being a baker. Me, let's see, what do? I was a Marine for a while, which got me into IT. I know the two things don't normally mix, but in my case it did. After the Marine Corps, I got 2 degrees in IT, and now I run around the country building 911 systems. So if it doesn't work, well, you probably know why.
That's scary.
Right?
Do you feel better about the world now, or just a little bit worse, or about the same?
To let you know, I did work on the 911 here in Florida. So the fact that it's working right now is a testament.
That's really odd. That's really odd. My wife used to be a 911 operator for Orange County, Florida.
For Orange County? Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Orange County Sheriff.
I don't know.
Yep.
If you just said Volusia County, I know everybody.
It was long ago. Nitedemon, what about you, man? What's your story?
Well, no, technically I'm retired, as I like to tell people. You know, I retired early to look after the kids, and I'm part-time, only to bring in some money to feed my Destiny addiction.
And his many children.
I have 5. There are 5 children, and they're all mine, and my wife's. Like, I don't.
Why did you have to
Did you
specify?
steal them?
And my wife's. Like what?
No, what he's saying is he's not divorced. It's his original family. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we get that.
Yeah.
But,
No, but normally-
the way he set it up, they're all mine
I know.
and my wife's. You know, like an afterthought. By the way, honey.
But normally the next question that I get asked when people say, "Oh, how many kids have you got?" I go 5. They go, "Oh, are they all yours?" I'm like, why wouldn't they all be mine? You know?
No, I've got 2 I picked up off the street. I forget what the heck,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I drive a panel van. Yeah.
That's not
Puppies,
funny.
Some candy,
They don't
just
have
driving
any
around.
candy in those things, dude. Why is that funny?
Anybody remember the show Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, where the
Yes.
the guy would have sweets and the kids would run up into the cage truck and he'd close the door on them? That terrified me as a kid. I thought they were everywhere in the world.
Yeah. And in
They're
school,
not?
when all the teachers are talking about how everybody's going to offer you drugs, don't do them.
Yeah.
Where are those people?
I know.
Am I in the wrong place? No, I don't do drugs. I don't drink, but the hilarity is still there. All these teachers, when you're growing up, don't do drugs, don't accept candy from strangers, this and that and the other. I've seen no drugs. I've seen no candy. I want to know where these people are. I need to
Exactly.
The
Right.
drugs, the candy, and the drugs are all the same thing.
What?
Just if you get the blue pill or the red pill, take the blue pill.
But if you mix them, they become a purple pill.
Okay. I don't know. I can't explain that one. Sorry. I'm a big Matrix fan if you haven't figured it out. Let's switch gears here. Let's switch gears. I want to start with your gaming history, each of you. You can be as specific as you want or just give an overview. It's up to you. But what's your gaming history? Why don't we start with Peroty? Peroty, what's your gaming history, man?
Oh, in the beginning, the beginning of time, there was an old computer system called a K-Pro.
K-Pro.
And the first game I played, it was like you were an O jumping over an X. Like it was, green text on a black screen. That's how far back the gaming goes.
Oh, wow.
But really, we went right from there. Atari 2600, Super Nintendo. That's sort of my origin of gaming, is Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy, Secret of Mana, and NBA Jam. Which I know those are, which of these don't belong? My brother and I, again, grew up in the country, had no useful internet. We would play those games obsessively, partially because they were co-op and partially because you could sort of play Final Fantasy co-op by taking turns. And
The fact you played Chrono Trigger, I didn't know that. That makes me respect you just a slight.
Were you a pass the controller player?
very much so.
Gotcha.
It was pass the controller or like Secret of Mana and stuff. It could actually do co-op, so that was a big win. And then we finally got some internet around there in the late 90s. We played a ton of Command and Conquer online because it was about the only thing you could play with a 26.4 dial-up modem on real terrible phone lines in the middle of the country. And my brother and I would play it. We play it cooperatively. Now you may be going, Command and Conquer. For those who don't know, it's a base builder, click and drag. Create some units, send the units over, take over the base with.
It's an RTS, right?
Yeah, it's an RTS. Yeah, I couldn't think of the word. So we would play cooperatively in that you just needed the mouse to build all your units in your base. But the keyboard, you could use the keyboard to play, but more importantly, you could use the keyboard to constantly assault the person you were playing with messages. Nothing like bad or mean, just chatting them up, just to be like, hey, how's it going? Just like send a constant stream of messages over to the other player. So they think you're just sitting here screwing around, typing the whole time. And then you rush their base with 1,000 units and destroy them.
That's dirty, man. That's dirty.
And it was beautiful. It's about all we could do on, everybody had a better connection than us. Everybody had faster machines than us, but that was our way to take people over.
Oh, nice. Very
And
nice.
that's
awesome.
That's so much fun. Then I played again a ton of Diablo in college, and Serious Sam was my jam back in the day because you could play it on next to nothing hardware, and it was run around and shoot things. It was Halo Firefight writ large.
Nice.
And then finally stumbled across the Xbox, Halo, Destiny, Destiny 2, and as I tell people, Destiny isn't so much a game as it is a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is.
So here's where I am.
I hear you, man. Let's see, who wants to go next?
I'm actually wanting to know what Demon played before Destiny.
Yeah, Night Demon. What's your gaming history, Night Demon?
My gaming history is starting with I can't remember the name of the console, but it was the one where you could play Pong on the telly with the little
Atari?
twisty knob. No, it wasn't even Atari. You had like a little joystick thing that just had a twisty knob on the top, and that was it.
Yep.
You just Pong on the screen. I remember my dad bringing, I think he got it from the pub. He bought it off of somebody, brought it home. It lasted about 5 minutes before it broke, but then it was Commodore 64, which I still have, and I have over 1,000 games for it. And I've literally kept every game console that I've ever bought and all the games just sitting in my office with me at the moment, actually. So I've got a Master System 2. There's a Mega Drive 2. There's a Sega Dreamcast, Nintendo NES, Super Nintendo, N64, original Xbox, GameCube, and then the rest are dotted around the house if they're still working, like
Wow.
Nintendo Wii and things like that.
I'm impressed. That is awesome, man.
So yeah, I used to just like collect them and play them and just...
I'm so kicking myself that I didn't keep all my past PlayStations, and I would always, just go up to the next console. That's the way it always was. But,
yeah, I mean, that's what I thought. But I always, I hoard things. That's my problem. Is I always hoarded these things, and I've always just kept them.
Now, did you go Xbox route as well, or did you go PlayStation, or do you go regular PC?
No, I went.
Play PC.
Oh, okay. Obviously, there's something I don't know here. Okay.
Ouch.
I've been trying to get all these nerds on PC, and nobody wants to come.
I know, Respawn. I've been trying to do the same thing, Hazel.
When I was at college, I did graphic design and illustration, and I had a MacBook Pro and all the like Mac Tower and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do gaming on that. That would be absolutely fine. I think I used to play StarCraft on the dial-up modem, which was quite fun.
Can you imagine playing a video game on Wine on a Mac?
I used to phone my friend up and say, like, let's play StarCraft, and then run the lead to the phone line. And then that would upset my parents for the rest of the evening because they couldn't get any telephones.
It was always a busy signal, right?
Yeah. So me and my friend would then just play all night. That would be great fun.
So your parents didn't break down and get a second phone line at some point like mine did?
No. They wouldn't pay out.
For all you young ones out there used to be internet across the phone line called DSL.
Whoa.
No.
DSL, dude, sir, no, that is
okay. Dial-up was way before.
Rich.
Okay,
that's the rich man's DSL.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, DSL. You're talking about megabits per second there, my friend.
It's the same. It's the same infrastructure. I know. At dial-up, yes, I remember AOL. Believe me, I remember those days.
Like Napster and taking hours or days to download a movie. Yes.
Yeah.
A movie song, hoping that one song finished before the person disconnected or someone picked up your phone or...
Yep.
I wasn't even trying to get songs back in those days. I was just trying to download Dragon Ball Z pictures, and I get like halfway through and get disconnected. Don't laugh, dude. That was the thing back in the day.
No. I'm laughing because I lived that life. Like I said, I play. Tried to play games over the modem, going, let's see if this works. Let's see if this connects. And no.
So Night Demon, you went the Xbox route.
Originally, I was on PlayStation. I got a PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and then my wife made the biggest mistake of her life in actually buying me the Xbox.
Oh, boy.
One Christmas, she just suddenly surprised me and went, here you are, there's this new console out. And I had like about 5 different games with it. I remember I got Halo. I think there was Bruce Lee, Dragon Master. There was an X-Men game. Right. But I would just play Halo. And then that just then progressed into the 360. and then I just carried on. So I did get a PlayStation 3 just for a couple of the exclusive games, like The Last of Us, and I think there was an Andy Serkis kind of broken sword game that was quite interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but I've stuck with Xbox since. Haven't kind of gone PC or anything
Very
else.
cool. Well, last but not least, Mr. Respawn. What's your gaming history, buddy?
Believe it or not, the very first game I ever played was Oregon Trail.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
Nice.
Oh,
No,
yes.
that was the very first game I ever played, and then after that, I got a Game & Watch. I don't know if you remember that. It was the very first mobile game, and it was literally a game in a watch, right? And then the first console I had was a Nintendo. And I say first, but usually when we got consoles, I got all three, right? So in the beginning, I had a console and a PlayStation because Legend of Zelda and all the Final Fantasies.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So, and then Xbox came out, and I had to add that to my repertoire. And then once PCs became popular, I had those. So throughout my gaming history, I've never not had all three consoles and a PC, right? So, but
Was somebody an only child?
no, actually, I have.
I ask only because I had a couple friends growing up who were only children who were their parents had them. They had all the consoles, all the everything. I'm going, you must not have siblings.
No. That's how our parents got us, right? Because we had four. I have four brothers and a sister, but we would get a console that we'd have to share. So on my birthday, I'd get like a Nintendo or a Game Boy.
Okay, so they went round robin, giving you each a console to hopefully keep you from each other's throats.
Exactly. Christmas time would be one console for everybody, and everybody would get like a game that they wanted or some controllers or something like that. That was usually how that worked. So yeah, we always round robin to get all the consoles forever. And even now, I have everything except a PlayStation 4. And I'm sorry, I do have a PlayStation 4. I lied because I'm using it to play Final Fantasy 7. Doy. So I still have all consoles. Disregard that. But yeah, no, I love first-person shooters, and I love RPGs, man. Like Final Fantasy. Anytime I can play a Final Fantasy, I'm happy. It makes me feel giddy, like a small schoolgirl that I don't know how to finish a sentence, so I'm gonna stop.
Status report. Exodus Black. Superstructure integrity, 17%. Data store integrity, 38%. Power core integrity, 89%. Failsafe AI core protocol integrity. End status report.
Anyway, so next week in Destiny.
Bitch.
The more you know.
What do we think the flashpoint's going to be? Because Destiny couldn't be bothered to tell us again. So
Oh shit, what was it this week? Who was right? I didn't even look.
We didn't guess last week.
Yeah.
But if you'd have guessed the same as you did 2 weeks ago, you would have been right.
Nice.
So do you know what it is?
Yes.
Go on then.
Venus.
Yeah, this just shows you haven't played this week.
I jumped online long enough to get before this podcast started. I jumped online. I saw the hunter flag, got pissed off, shut off the game.
You and all the rest of the hunters apparently. So
No, that's exactly it. No, that was going to be part of my rant, but I'm not.
Anyway,
I'm not going to rant it. I'm just going to say I honestly believe hunters out there are feeling the same way that I did. Bungie nerfed our numbers out the gate, so when we see that flag, we just get pissed off. There's no hunters rally together. We can do this. No, it's just like.
Can I just say something real quick? Nitedemon, I don't envy your job at all, buddy. I'm glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I passed the reins on to Nitedemon here. I'm watching him squirm like I've been squirming the last hour. Oh my god, this is great.
He's a professional.
It's going to be cut. That's why I'm cussing. I know he won't include any.
Well, we don't
know anything.
We don't cover up any cuss words. We're explicit, so yeah.
Oh. They said that you're family friendly. You're a you can
swear now.
We didn't say which family. It could be the Manson family. You don't know.
This is where I hand the football off to Nitedemon.
He lied to me.
He doesn't know what that is either.
He's gonna have so much fun.
Well,
man.
According to Bungie, the scores are close. So you've got to keep showing which class is best in the Guardian games.
Okay.
And the Almighty title, and still to unlock a new offer and purchase from the Bungie rewards. and we get to destroy opponents in Mayhem and Breakthrough as they appear in the Crucible. But as Peroty said, no flashpoint, so it's guessing time.
Are you reading the actual TWAB, or are you reading the notes that you sent me?
I'm reading Next Week in Destiny, which flashed up on my screen earlier tonight.
Yeah, he's reading the screenshot he took of when it popped up earlier.
Gotcha.
So I think we should let Gator and Hazel, take the first crack of what do you think next week's Flashpoint is going to be, since Bungie doesn't seem to know either.
Yeah, I noticed that was weird. I was looking around. I said, where the hell? What planet is a Flashpoint?
They haven't said that in months.
I haven't done a Flashpoint.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, I do them. Okay. I'm gonna guess Titan.
Okay.
Good choice.
That would be my guess too, because I know that I think it was the EDZ. I think this week. You think
That was last week. That was last week.
Tangled Shore this week.
Yep.
Who knows? Who cares? But yeah.
Oh, let's go with IO.
Okay. Respawn, what would you like to go with this week?
Okay. My first answer was going to say Titan, but fuck Titans, so I'm going to go with IO.
So you're going to say follow the Titan to IO. Good job, buddy.
I'm following Titans anyway, you dirty bastard.
I will say Nessus then.
Nessus
Very
is
good.
a good one. Nessus is a very good one.
Yeah, and one of us will be right, or we won't be right, and the games are made up and the points don't matter, so...
Oh, dear.
All right, so what's first, gentlemen? We got emblems and trackers, we got combat, we got rewards, we got...
And
armor,
30
we got
seconds in, we're
economy.
off the rails, and sighing has begun.
Yo, that is a record for us, by the way. 30 seconds.
Of slowness, maybe usually starts right from the get-go.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So there was an update this week. Do we all appreciate the update this week?
There was an update this week. I know you appreciate the update this week.
I
saw-
appreciate the update for
I
several
didn't
things.
see what
But
it
yes.
did.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, so...
You weren't even playing this week, so don't even go there.
I jumped online a couple of times. Remember, we had this whole argument about me not knowing how to actually participate in the games.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did it, and I gave you a set of very explicit instructions to follow.
And they worked. And then I
Did
haven't
you?
played
Good job.
since.
Well, there you go. So once again,
So
you got a participation trophy and then refused to participate. Good job,
Yeah.
buddy.
Fuck.
Update 2.8.1. We had some combat fixes this week. So they fixed an issue where the Ward of Dawn was not generating orbs of light. So that's a bit handy going into the Guardian games. We want some orbs of light. They fixed an issue with the Ward of Dawn could not be activated whilst holding a sword. Another good thing for us Titans.
Just too threatened to be like, I have a sword and a Ward of Dawn. No, it was just too much.
Yeah, you couldn't
One or
do
the
two things. One
No,
or the
the
other.
game got confused. They're like, well, hold on. No, the only person allowed to activate their super with a sword is the Warlock.
The Warlock, who unfortunately couldn't cast, while casting a Nova Bomb for the Attunement of Hunger, would consume your melee ability as well. Same action. So Nova Bomb melee ability. So they fixed that as well.
I was going to say emblems and trackers that they've fixed the playing the odds emblem that you earn through Gambit. It's into a quest now that you can be claimable from collections. The Divinity mission, players that didn't receive or didn't get their exotic trace rifle will now have it unlocked and available to reacquire from their collections.
Uh-oh.
So is that you, Respawn, or have you not bothered that? No.
I'm glad you say that. Tomorrow at 5:00 in the afternoon, I will have my Divinity.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nice.
right. Thank you.
well, we'll be
Or-
checking Discord
Unless
for
it's
that.
still broken. No, I've completed the Divinity mission. All we need to do is actually do the little puzzle game inside the raid, which we're going to be starting tomorrow at 3, and it usually takes us about 2 hours. So I'm guessing around 5 I'll have Divinity.
Okay. Players who have completed the Forsaken campaign will find the Lawless Frontier Law Book entry "By Thy Tongue Be Damned" completed and available to be claimed. And emblem metrics added for the emblem stat trackers that were present before 2.8.0, and you'll be able to display the same data as before. And the trackers that were added, we went over a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you,
But really, but most importantly, the Iron Burden is back,
exactly.
which
That's
Nitedemon
okay.
applied immediately to every emblem he owns, and he will never take it off. Now he's a happy man.
He applied
did.
them before it was fixed. Show.
That's what the Sharpie in the screenshot was for. Okay.
That's right. The whiteout on the computer monitor.
Yeah, we also fixed a couple armor things in Update 281, which makes me happy since I've been running around with the Titan's Phoenix Cradle exotic leg armor all week. It will now correctly create sunspots and have an extended duration and apply the benefits to my allies while I'm wearing it and getting a weapon kill while standing in a sunspot.
Do you guys
So that's
actually
fancy.
use that? I've never seen a Titan wear those.
I have, just because I've been running a lot of Seraph Tower and figure everyone should be a Sun Warrior. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, they weren't working before. That's why nobody was wearing them before Respawn. This is how it works. They fixed that issue. So now people will
Before
want
it
to wear
was
them.
Broken.
It's always been broken.
Shut up.
Yeah, and now it's less broken. Fix an issue where the Warlock's Fellwinter Helm's exotic would incorrectly trigger after swapping the item off and on again. So they turned it off and on again, and now it works. From turning it off and on again where it didn't work. Got it.
Is it actually based on a Windows platform? What?
The Warlock is a PC, yes. It fixed an issue where some faction armors were not correctly allowing players to apply faction rally ornaments to them. My renown, it's gone. Seasonal mod sockets have all been added to all the armor available from World Drops, and they have an article with all the details. It's all the armor. All the armor you care about, it's there. If not,
And all the armor that you did care about that you saved with the high stats has had it added onto it.
Oh, so they retroactively changed it for Nitedemon, who put all the armor in his vault. Very
I'm
good.
gonna have to check. I know for a fact one of my pieces of armor do not have that, but I think it's an exotic.
Have you filled in the requisition form and send it off to Bungie? Because if not,
In
we don't want to hear about it.
triplicate.
Let's carry on.
In triplicate.
Players who met the requirements but were missing the prestige ornaments from Eater of the World raid lair will now have them unlocked and available for use.
Yeah,
I
it's
found that.
again.
That was in my inventory this week. I was like, yes, they finally
You did a
acknowledged that
thing.
I did a thing like 2 years ago, and it's still in my inventory.
You know, things get lost in the mail. The postmaster, he's not the best at his job. He tries hard.
No,
but
we've all had it. It just took it a while to get through the Brexit in Europe. He finally has it.
you say we like you've done that, Eater of Worlds.
Are you
and
saying that I
anyway.
haven't, sir?
I'm saying that I haven't. And if you're a new player, you can still obtain the prestige ornaments from completing this prestige heroic Eater of World raid lair along with the appropriate Leviathan boss challenges. None of which I've done. Moving on. They fixed an issue that could prevent the Eater of World's prestige ornaments from appearing in the ornament slot on an appropriate raid gear. So even if you had it, it still may not have worked. Basically, they were very broken. Now they're much less broken. Titan's Aeon Safe Gauntlets now list the same melee trigger requirement on both its tooltip and detail screen, which no one cares because they're the Aeon Safe gauntlets that nobody wears or thinks about.
They're easily the best gauntlets you have. Don't even try to front.
The Mantle of Remembrance ornament for the Hunter's exotic gauntlets, the Shinobu's Vow, will now properly replace the item icon to reflect the change in appearance. The Diadem of Deceit exotic ornament is now usable on either the Year 1 version of the Warlock's exotic helm, the Crown of Tempest. The Nano Redux ornament is now available in the Year 1 version of the Hunter's exotic chest, the Raiden Flux. They fixed a bunch of ornaments on a bunch of exotics.
I was waiting for that.
I'm like, yeah, the Dude Marchers, they have one. The chest armor with the large arm reserves now
Yes.
properly provides an increased ammo reserve for shotguns. Oh, fancy. So yeah, if you were trying to use large arms reserves on your chest piece to get more shotgun ammo, you weren't. And now you can look prettier. So the fashion game, better than before.
The economy. Nightfall, the Ordeal Grandmaster difficulty, now grants Season 10 Season Pass Exotic Weapon Catalyst quest progress. See, I can read.
Progression.
Crimson Day
is the word
Sparrows
we're reading, by the way.
now have the correct event watermarked, and it was the Dawning.
Well,
So
thank
if you're
God.
really worried about that, you know, that was really troubling me the other day when I was looking. I was like, well, where did I get the sparrow from?
I'm saying, he misread it. See, I read it. No, you did.
Keep going.
Duplicate individual emote purchase separately from the bundle can now be opened. Universal ornaments being sold for Bright Dust in the Eververse store now properly display the text already purchased on the account when owned, which is quite handy because when you flash over those ornaments, don't you find it when it's already ticked, say, I already own this. I'm like, do I actually own that ornament, or you're just trying to get me to repurchase that ornament? I'm just like, so
Just be glad we get ticks at all.
So they fixed an issue that causes the Warlock Season Pass Universal Chest Ornament to erroneously cause an unreleased event Universal Ornament to also display as unlocked. The Trials of Osiris Ghost Shell will now drop with Crucible-related perks, which is a good thing.
Someone's working through their backlog of to-dos that were, fairly simple to fix, and they can
We
make
are
it
at
all prettier
home.
now.
We can't do the things that people want to do, so we're just going to go through the backlog list.
That's right.
So we're just going to overwhelm you with fixes.
This makes me feel like they got to the bottom of their email list. Like, I can start with this one, and then I can do this one, and I can do this.
Yep. Let's dig into the bottom of things that have been
It's
in
all
this
those
pile for
unread
4 years.
emails from like a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
We finally got to
What can they? But hey, at least we also got some power progression, fixes. This. There are now 4 weekly sources for powerful gear. You can run your
first of all, what he's saying
Crucible.
is there's 4 weekly powerful gear sources upgraded to Pinnacle. I believe is what he was trying to say.
Yes, there are now pinnacle sources of gear. The Crucible, Strikes, Gambit, Challenges, and the weekly clan engrams will now give you pinnacle rewards. So if you're playing one of those 4 things or all 4 things, you can get pinnacle gear out of it.
You should absolutely pay 3 out of 4 of those. 100%.
4 out of 4 would buy again. Fix an issue where the Trials event vendor engram was not previewing awards at the correct power level, or give them to you, or being Trials at all. Hey, they fixed some things in weapons too. An issue with the 4th Horseman where its broadside perk would fail to replicate its effect over the network. So if you shot somebody on your own Xbox, it would work, but not anybody else. Good talk. We fixed an issue with the Breach Loader's special ammo grenade launchers that resulted in them having significantly reduced blast radius. And we fixed some world systems. The completing the Warden of Nothing now counts for a fallen boss. Because it should be in the weekly strike bounty, the serve the servitors. There's also an issue called in the Ward of Nothing to give double champion rewards. Now it does not.
Damn it.
Why do you have to fix the things that we don't want fixed and leave the things broken that we do want fixed? Bungo.
Because they also fixed the Wishener exotic quest for players who are missing the uncharged tokens after turning the Awoken talisman and completing the 3 special mission. Secret mission will now find them in their pursuits, and if a player's pursuits are full, they will find them added once they've been cleared, and they will eventually show up once you log out and log back into Destiny. And hey, the Dreaming City World chests are rewarding Glimmer again, which I feel like they told us before, but now maybe they're doing it for real.
No, it's fixed now.
There's an issue where players could get blocked from obtaining the essence of the Bad Juju mission on the other side, preventing completion of the Bad Juju exotic quest Spellbound. A player could still get into a bad state, kind of like falling with a bad group of friends. After being on the quest themselves, they join another player on the appropriate step, complete the other side mission, obtain the essence, and then bound it to obtain the bad juju. Players in the bad state who have obtained the bad juju, completed the other side mission, have not completed the Spellbound exotic quest, will now be able to bind the essence in the altar to complete it. And they've also fixed an issue causing crash when players attempted to turn in their Awoken talisman to the statue of Seizure Ido in the Shattered Throne dungeon. What do we have for UI changes here, Nitedemon?
I love the fact that you didn't hand over to him. So they've made a change that
he doesn't have the document in front of him. Come on now.
I do. Made changes so that completed bounties now show at the top of the bounty bucket, grouping them together. Bitch.
And here's one for your PC folks.
No,
he's not
that
continuing.
is not
Friends
fixed.
list in a player's roster should no longer show. It said should no longer show up as black nameplates with 0 power.
No, ask Fuzzco if that's true. Literally every single person Fuzzco saw had a black label when we last did the raid.
After
Everyone.
the fix went live or before the fix went live?
That is irrelevant, sir.
You haven't been online to play, so you can't comment in saying that it's not fixed.
I keep telling you, I have been online to play.
Bungie says no, so let's not even go there.
How does Bungie say no?
And you wonder why I didn't turn it over to him. Because we've also fixed an issue where the champion server's invulnerability beams were not appearing during the Seraph Tower events. They fixed a string identifying the 4 Seraph weapons, including the word source, so players know where to obtain the weapons.
I love
an issue where the Rasputin Bounty, the Lost Classics, was not counting the Classic Mix playlist. They've added the activity rejoin function in the Trials playlist.
Pointless.
So they have added an activity rejoin function in the Trials playlist. So if you're kicked out of Trials because the game said you're doing too well, time to send you back to orbit, you should be able to rejoin. But they fixed an issue where fully upgrading the destination bunker sometimes doesn't unlock the Mine Security Triumph. We're going to get the Trials. We're almost done with it. We're so close to the end. The seasonal Triumph completes.
There's nothing else to
now increments when Triumphs are completed. The Vex barriers in the Grove of Ulan 10, Legendary Lost Sector. The Vex now have barriers. They fixed an issue in the Seraph Towers public event where Anna's dialogue would still call out towers being overwhelmed when the towers go down and the champions are present in the final phase. They fixed an issue with a heavy frame respawning from its platform in the quarry and the Scavenger's Den Legendary Lost Sector on the ADZ. And they fixed an issue with the difficulty scaling of several activities, the Whisper of the Woman 0-hour missions, so those are no longer broken.
Boom.
Now, what were you trying to say about rejoining in Trials?
I'm saying it's fucking pointless. It's freaking pointless. Reason being is because
it's Trials. Moving on.
No. Listen, if they would stop, maybe not even stop the game that you got disconnected from, right? That game completes.
What are you moaning about now?
But they continue on and load the next match while you're still rejoining. So your teammates lose one, potentially two matches while you're quote unquote rejoining.
Instead
and that's enough to kill
them,
a whole round, man.
Instead of them never getting someone to rejoin, so they're just 2v3 the entire time?
Same principle, though, man. By the time they rejoin, they probably already lost the match.
But they maybe didn't have lost the match versus definitely losing the match before, so it's better.
Bungie should have also enabled the next match cannot begin until that guy rejoins. That would have been a great fix.
If you're playing on console, it won't begin because it's slow. Stop playing on PC. You have all the cheaters and it's too fast. Play on an old original Xbox. It'll fix all your speed loading problems.
That's also what causes the rubber banding. Lag switch? No. What's going on? Xbox One original. Oh,
Xbox One original. It's very intriguing being on a faster internet connection with an old Xbox, and then playing with someone like Pan who's on a new Xbox One X on a terrible rural high speed internet connection. It's basically the same experience. I have all the bandwidth and none of the frames. He has all the frames and none of the bandwidth.
Y'all should trade. That way, at least one person has all of everything.
I do when the wife isn't on it.
The Guardian Games have begun. Asterisk. Hunters, Titans, and that floaty class are facing off against each other in a friendly competition. We kicked off the event with a dev insight and a Hunter nerf, showing some of us at Bungie sharing our thoughts on who is going to win Titans because Hunters were nerfed. Sure, there is some light-hearted ribbing going on because Titans are messing with Hunters because we got nerfed, but at the end of the day, we're all Guardians except for the Hunters because Titans are dicks. Though, the winners get to flex their class item in everyone's faces, which will be a Titan mark because they're the only ones that are going to get gold, so get out there and represent your team of Titans because Hunters were nerfed. Hunters won the first day, and that's the only day they're going to win because Titans rose to the occasion to claim day 2 and day 3 and 4 and 5 and etc. because Hunters cannot possibly catch up. One thing that we haven't told you yet is that during the final week of the event, every day's victory will count double points for Titans, half points for everybody else. So if any class is holding a fairly significant lead and thinks they can sit back and relax, then they can because they're Titans. Unless everybody else, then they better keep on pushing or another class could pull off a comeback, only if that class is Titans. Before we move on to the rest of the TWAB, production director Justin Truman would like to speak about Titans and Hunters getting nerfed on the current state of the game and our plans going forward. Hunters' numbers were nerfed so the Titans can win something finally. Justin Truman, hey everyone, if you're like me, you're playing a lot more video games now than you did last month. In these uncertain times, you want Destiny.
Are you going to take a breath, man? Justin's
Stop! Don't interrupt him. Let him keep going.
I don't want to. It's just I've fallen asleep. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I've fallen asleep already.
Yeah, it's because it's 3 a.m. You're fine. Just let him keep going. We're making progress.
We are making progress. Fine, I'll read like I normally do. We want Destiny to be a satisfying escape rather than a frustrating grind unless you're a hunter. There's been a growing list of concerns
Stop adding stuff.
I'm not. It's right there in black and white. There's been a growing list of concerns with the game lately unless you're a Titan. Trials, the rise in cheaters, our new seasonal model. The balance between rewards you earn versus the items you buy. We've been closely watching and discussing each of these topics as we read your feedback. When our community managers relay that everyone at Bungie is listening, I assure you, we aren't. No, wait, we are not. No, we are. Ha! They claim that they are listening. That's what they said. We're also working hard from our homes, trying to address and improve each of these areas for future releases. Nothing in Destiny is as easy as flipping a switch unless you're nerfing hunters and letting Titans win, and everything's gotten trickier while working remotely, except for the Titans. But as Destiny players ourselves, Titan mains, we struggle with the same issues you do, unless you're a Titan, and we want to fix them as quickly as we can, unless you're a hunter. But fixing these issues isn't good enough if we keep you in the dark the whole time. So we're going to try something a little different. We're going to play hunters. Every week for the rest of the season, we will have
Obviously not,
updates-
because that flag hasn't gone up yet.
Right. Well, that would be something. Okay, I'm sorry. So this time we're going to try something a little different. We're going to play Warlocks. Every week for the rest of the season, we'll have updates from different members on the dev team covering most of the important topics in Destiny right now, which is nerfing hunters, and what we're planning to do about them. Absolutely nothing. Today, we're going to discuss trials and our war against cheaters and Titan mains. Next week, we'll be diving deep into our seasonal model and how we plan to improve it in the future as hunters continue to get nerfed, and some info on the bounties and our plans involving their evolution. We have plans for future editions of the TWAB. We also want to hear from you, unless you're a hunter. What are the other topics you want to make sure we discuss in the coming weeks? Can't talk about hunter nerfs.
Is there something about hunters in there that you want to discuss? Just checking.
Yeah, I would like to, but
Have you highlighted it enough this week in the podcast that maybe somebody at Bungie's listened?
I haven't even gotten to it yet, man. Hold on,
Okay, just
I'm
checking.
I'm just reading the TWAB verbatim what they wrote. Okay,
Right, okay.
verbatim, exactly as it's written.
Hey guys, did you know that hunters are a thing in Destiny?
Right, like you. We love Destiny, except for hunters, and the community that makes it special as it is. Only Titans. For a bunch of us, Titan mains, Destiny represents more than a decade of our lives, and we're never going to stop trying to make it feel better for Titans, even if we have to do that from our beds with Titan sheets and couches in this unprecedented time. I'm looking forward to sharing more with you in the coming weeks. Stay safe out there, Titan mains. Trials and tribulations.
We can skip this whole top part by just saying we've discussed the issues with trials to death. There's nothing new to be said. There are problems with trials.
Okay.
I think we've discussed it. I think YouTubers have discussed it. Gator and Hazel, have you discussed it? I'm guessing that
Are
somebody...
you aware there's a thing called trials and it's got some problems?
Yeah, I've already ranted about it, and I refrained from ranting more about it last week. So I'll bite my tongue and keep my comment to myself.
What is this hunters and Titan, or not Titans thing, but trials thing? What is this? I don't know. I've been in
play trials. Hunters are not allowed to play trials. In fact, hunters have been explicitly revoked. If you try
Hunters
to
are cheaters on PC trials. That's
hunter,
what the
you
takeaway
get a
here.
little flashing name that says this player cannot participate, and you have to change to like a warlock or something before you can play trials.
So I gotcha.
Yeah, so we're not going to talk about the problems with trials, but they do have some beginnings of solutions that we'll talk about.
Okay,
Yeah.
so basically a lot of trials problems, a lot of cheating problems. Okay, how they're going to fix it or how they're going to remedy it. And actually, I'm not too upset about these changes. So no real rant here. The problem, token rewards incentivizes players. They should have put high-skilled players, right? Token rewards incentivize
You mean
highly
Titans.
skilled players. Well, I said highly skilled. Titans are not highly skilled. They're just buffed.
highly motivated and highly
Highly doped
Sneaky.
up on crayon
Sneaky.
powder. Okay.
sneaky.
Highly shoulder padded.
Yes.
Pads my ass. You guys got spikes on those things. Token rewards incentivizes highly skilled players and or Titans to farm the 3 wins and reset their card. Solution. In Season 11, we are planning on creating a token payout milestone at 3, 5, and 7 wins that gives successively larger chunks of tokens. Bonus tokens passage should increase these payouts, and on a flawless run, it will generate a significant token payout.
These things are going to have to be pretty beefy to
They
get
are.
those players to stay
The
at
fact that they
7
said
and higher.
significant gives me hope that we
But
can
if-
at least make 5 wins.
If it's quicker to still do 3 wins for those highly skilled players and just reset, that's all they're going to do.
I thought about that, right? But if you're a highly skilled player, it's probably faster for them to actually just go ahead and complete their card and start a new one.
all depends on how the numbers work out.
And it all depends on the cheaters and the aimbots and whether people come back on PC as well.
That's true. Those aimbotters, the cheaters, they're going to get flawless after flawless after flawless. But we're moving on. Problem. Trials is unrewarding for players stuck at 1 to 2 wins. I'll agree. Although, like I've said before, if you can't get the 3 wins, you don't deserve it. But Bungie thinks otherwise, and so does Nitedemon. Here's their solution. Create a weekly bounty that encourages participation, not wins, participation each weekend and does not require match wins. When redeemed, the bounty will reward the same item that comes from the 3-win passage, unlocking the engram for purchase that week. Bam. So you just have to farm tokens. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, play the game, just like in Destiny 1, where they finally let Brother Vance sell you bounties where you could go get killed, whatever, string wins in a row. You had to get maybe, 10 wins overall, but not in a row.
Right.
If they bring it out like it was in D1, I think that's a good change. And Hazel and Gator, jump in anytime, Trials, thoughts, issues.
Well,
Hazel,
burned his mouth.
I'll let Gator explain to you how Trials works later.
My opinion toward Trials is the way it's always been. Is Trials is a team-based game. If you have a clan that likes to play Trials, Trials is a great thing. If you have a clan that maybe plays a lot more PvE or is more casual in Crucible, then Trials is not going to really apply to you. And I'm one of those people who wants to play Trials, but I just don't have a dedicated team that will be there ready to roll. And I don't have I'm more of a, I'm not saying I'm a passive player. I'm an adaptive player. I like to hold down zones and stuff. That's my play style. I'm not a killer that's going to jump in there and take the first person out and then we all charge in and finish them off. I need that killer. And if you don't have that in your team, you're just going to have a hard time playing Trials. I mean, Paul Tassi mentioned he played all weekend and couldn't get 3 wins. So I think he's a pretty decent player. That always been my problem is the 3-win gate. I don't like that. You can gather up all the tokens you can and just sit there and look at them in your inventory because you can't get the 3 wins because everybody's farming 3-win cards.
Yeah.
And even the last couple times I played Trials, even though we didn't win, I saved the bounties that I did complete, and they're still in my inventory for whenever I do want to cash them in, because that's the only way you can retain tokens.
I still have Trial of the Nines tokens. I still had those, and I finally got rid of them once I realized that we didn't. Because what I loved about Trials of the Nines, you could just save the tokens up, and then if say you do have a good week and you can get that pulse rifle at the final tower, whatever the final water area where you go flawless, you have the tokens to buy it.
Yep.
You can't do any of that here. The problem is it's gonna make the player base so small. The only people that are going to be in Trials are all the sweaty players and all the streamers out there that play Trials all the time in the past. And it's great to watch, but the problem is a lot of them are going to eventually fall out because they're going to realize they all have to have sweaty games every time.
Right.
That's the issue, isn't it? It's always going to be that. No matter how much you kind of try and plug this up at the beginning part of Trials to get more people in at the beginning, it's still going to filter down to those highly skilled players right at the end, and they're not happy with that. They want that kind of, every now and then they could win against a lesser team, or the lesser team could overcome the adversity and actually beat them. That they want that kind of play, and they're never going to get that with what they're doing.
And here's the thing. Destiny is not going to ever be a CS:GO game. It's not going to be a sweaty pro game. It's just not gonna. No. I mean, it's never built that way. And they're trying to make it this sweaty pro, like Call of Duty. They're trying to make it a pro circuit. And the problem is you need the casual hobby players like me in Trials in order to keep the player base up. So you have to appeal to everybody.
How much of this was Activision versus actually Bungie? Because, a lot of people believe that Activision is the one that made them do 4s. And to push it more for competitive and everything else.
Well, I think towards the end of Destiny 1, there was a lot of streamers, there was a lot of YouTubers that I, listened to, watched, and they were all pushing for a 4v4, more competitive, and make, the PvP side more like Halo, where it is a 4v4 kind of competitive arena. And that's what they got at the beginning of D2. They got what they actually asked for. And it took a couple of months, but then they realized that wasn't what Destiny was. Destiny was that 6v6 to 3v3, and that's what suited that game. But by then, we've kind of gone a whole year with 4v4, and they'd lost a lot of the players that thought it was going to be good, and they haven't come back.
You know how they solve this?
Go on.
Like Control. I love Control. You know why? It's skill-based matchmaking. I'm going to play people who are the same skill as me, and I'll be honest, I hold a pretty good KDA. I'm a pretty decent player, and I'm probably right there in the upper middle, I would say, to be honest. And I play those people. I don't play the people who just picked up the game. I don't pick up the people that, sweat they play sweats on the weekends. I play people that I know every time it'll be a good close game and it'll be fun.
That's what I enjoy about it.
Yes. Trials is card-based matchmaking and connection-based matchmaking, which means the high skill players can just crap on all the all the people who maybe don't play as much. And
that's what I like
sound
about
like
the
a
Iron
win.
Banner as well.
Yeah.
Iron Banner's exactly the same.
Exactly.
It is that mix of competitive. Every game, or mainly every game, is that close. You can have some games that are really lopsided, but it is that nice mix of competitive with skill, I guess. And I think I suggested it a couple of weeks back on our podcast. Once you've done your flawless, you should be put into a different tier. You should be taken out of that tier, and then other people that finally go flawless are put into that higher tier. Whereas towards the end of the week, there's a lot more people in that higher tier, but that leaves you not the lesser skill players, but more the average skill players that may have a chance to then finally get to the lighthouse. I think that would work because more and more people would then want to play the game mode and have a chance of maybe even at the beginning of the week go up against those other teams because the other higher ones have already got through. I see that as a more fairer.
It's the same way. Not to interrupt. Sorry. This is the reason why I love playing Iron Banner.
Yeah.
Right now because this is why I love playing Iron Banner is because
no.
all the sweaty players are playing trials.
Yep.
So I'm playing people like me.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's fun
until you win a couple games in a row, and then you get put into that higher tier before it kicks you back down.
No. When you're,
I absolutely agree with you. Like I play Iron Banner every time because I absolutely love it. It's my favorite way to play PvP in this game.
When you mercy that team, you're going to get bent over on the next game. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
No, whenever we play as a clan, because every now and again we'll go in Iron Banner Clan Deep. And like we'll just completely just wreck 1, 2, maybe 3 teams if we're lucky. But then the next few matches, Bungie's like, "Oh, you feeling a little confident, huh? I got you, fam." And then I cry.
If you notice in skill-based matchmaking, your win-loss rate is about 50%. That's the algorithm.
But don't you think that's a testament to Bungie and their matchmaking?
Absolutely, I love it.
Why can't they do skill-based in everything?
Why not? That would solve all the problems, wouldn't it?
Right.
I think that's what made Trials 1 in Destiny 1 quite good, is because you could match up against those players that were, your skill level. And I think that's why there was a lot more people that were carrying people to the lighthouse, because they had more of a chance at getting those players to the lighthouse. I mean, I had friends that used to carry, and they used to do, there'd be a single carry taking 2 people to the lighthouse. And as trials got harder and harder, they then would have to get somebody else to come with them, and it would be 2 people taking 1 person. But you don't see that now in trials in Destiny 2. It is 2 people taking 1 person because it's that hard and that sweaty.
When you're seeing real crafty struggle in trials, you know something's not right.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Real crafty has been struggling.
Imtash, I have a love-hate relationship with him. And meaning in my mind, we don't actually know each other in real life. But no, I was watching one of his videos recently where he sees that there's a cheater in the lobby, and he's actually on his stream reaching out to the cheaters like, "Look, let us just take this guy to the lighthouse.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Obviously, you can cheat, you can get to the lighthouse however you want, but we're trying to get this guy there. Just let him have this 1 win." Please, I'll give you a shout out. I'll 1v1 you. I don't care. Like, he was actually doing his best, And for once, I actually thought of him Tash as a human being. But the point is like it's that much of a problem that even people like that are just like, yo, please, just let us win, please. Not even let us win. Just turn off the cheats.
They used to do it all the time.
If you beat us, you beat us.
The streamers, if they would look and see they're playing other fellow streamers, they'd say, what win are you on? And they would message each other, what win are you on? Oh, you're on your final one? We'll back out. We'll let you get this one. But that just doesn't happen now.
Yeah.
Not with all the cheaters and everything there. But that being the case, there is another problem solution that we can look into. And that is Trials feels unrewarding compared to other in-game activities. That's PvP in general, I think. But they're just talking about Trials here. So inject more chances to earn masterworking materials from Trials. Masterwork infusion materials will come from 357 win payouts in Season 11. We are also looking into possibly adding a new material-focused farming card in Season 12. That's good incentive, I think. Like on no BS, I think that is actually genuinely good incentive to get people.
But that's what their kind of current plans are for this kind of short-term fix. And we're just going to have to wait until next season to see whether it works in some way. I mean, I'll go in and try it. I'm not saying that I won't. You know, like you did with Guardian Games this week, I will go in and actually try it and see what it's like and see whether it's worth me going in each week. Although, like Gator said, you have to get a team, you have to go in. It's convincing two other people to go with you rather than kind of rely on LFGs. But they also said they're currently investigating a new form of flawless awarded weapon. So, like they did with Destiny 1, with the adept weapons, they're looking at possibly a new mod slot onto the weapon. And I listened to a couple of YouTube videos and they were saying they'd rather have like the celerity perk permanently on the weapon, like you kind of had with Destiny 1. I think that was the adept version, wasn't it? That you had the faster reload, faster movement. Yeah, it gave you what the celerity perk now does at the moment. And they were saying just put that on as the adept thing. Is, but they're not sure whether that's kind of going to be next season or the season 12. It's just going to be one of those things that they've said that they're looking into doing it. But one, is it going to be easy to implement? Because they said it's not as easy to kind of just flick a switch. Or is it going to be something that they can just maybe put on a weapon model like for next season?
Yeah. I also thought about things like, if you make it to the lighthouse, you get a randomly rolled chance. You get a curated roll of a Trials weapon. Random. One of the ones you've unlocked, right? So that could have been another incentive. Instead of people farming for this special roll that they want, if you get them to the lighthouse, or if they get themselves to the lighthouse, one of the weapons that they've unlocked, they get a chance to get that as a curated roll. Not a big chance per se, but let's say it's a bigger chance, like maybe 50-50.
Like raid kind of weapon drop chances, like 5% or 10%.
Yeah, just a higher chance to get a curated weapon from that chest than they would get from any other part of the Trials. And it's not limited to the 3 weapons they get that week. That is all weapons that they've unlocked since they've started playing Trials, kind of thing.
Why not? Why don't they do this? They did this with the Sundial, and it was so awesome. Why not, when you open the chest, you have 3 different guns you can choose from? So if you've already got the pulse rifle, they're not selling that, I know, but just using that example. If you already have, why is that?
I think because I've thought about that too, and the reason that they don't is probably to keep people playing Trials to do the grind to get the weapons they want.
But it's random rolled. It's random rolled. That adds some farm to it.
I guess.
I don't know. That's the one thing I loved about Trials of the Nine is when you went to all the different tiers, you had things to choose. Well, at the end you did, at least. You had things to choose from. I don't know. My 2 cents.
Oh no, you're right.
Well, they did do that
because I remember. Yeah, like back when I would play during the year of laser tag. You're absolutely right. At the very end, you'd have a choice of things. They wouldn't just give you crap.
I miss that. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah, I really like to see them take some of what they've learned from Menagerie and Sundial and implement some of those into Trials and other rewards in the game. It's like, here's the thing that people
card with the weapon
people enjoyed and people loved. Take some of these things you've learned from, and I'm sure they're doing some of this. They're taking this data, looking at what went well, what didn't go well. But you do these seasonal events that are time limited. Take what you've learned from it and implement it, because I think that's a great idea. Yeah, it gives you an excuse and a reason to go flawless, to give you that choice of weaponry that you can only get by going flawless or only get by hitting a certain tier. but
Yeah,
you're also
like
can
on
sort
your
of
phone.
farm what you're going for. So if it's a weekend where you're like, okay, none of these, the 7-win gun I don't care about, or I already have a good one, why do I even care? Yeah, if there's at least another roll on it, or an adept or whatever they end up calling adept version of it, at least it's something. It's something to chase, because Destiny is all about having something to chase.
Yeah, and what I was
think you're
thinking
right,
was,
and I would build onto that by saying, like, when you get your card, it shows all the weapon types, like scout rifle, pulse rifle, rocket launcher, whatever, and all the armor types, and you pick one of those as the roll that you're going to get from the chest. Just one. Hey, I want a scout rifle from the chest, guaranteed. Boom, you get it if you make it to the lighthouse. Yeah.
what I was going to suggest is maybe some of these weapons that are desirable, like Waking Vigil, Spare Rations, why not put those into the loophole at the end for the flawless chest?
Oh, that
But
would piss me off.
it's got. Why would it piss you off? It's just another way for people to kind of see if they can get a decent
Because if
roll
I'm
on
trying
it.
to get a trials weapon and I get something that's not a trials
No,
weapon,
but if it's a selectable weapon, I'm saying if it's one of these selectable, say it's a selectable weapon with a random roll, but it comes with an exclusive skin for doing trials, that's something else that they could build into the loophole. Because people are moaning to say we haven't got enough rewards in the loophole for trials. Because once you've got every weapon and every roll that you want and every piece of armor that you want, what's the incentive to keep going in?
I think this is just the beginning. I think they're going to. I think they're going to extrapolate on this. I think they're handling it very slowly. I don't think they want to ruin it, but I think they have a long way to go, though.
Yeah, this is definitely a marathon, not a sprint.
I think the issue, though, is that everybody expected more than what we got.
Yeah.
Because they came out and specifically said, hey, we're not going to do this half-baked and everything else, and then I'll be damned if it kind of seems kind of half-baked.
Yeah, I think they sort of they were trying to set the expectation of, hey guys, this is the first crack at this. This is a first try, but I think either they didn't accept the expectation right, or people just assumed it would be perfect or great when it came out because you put these elimination things in, I almost wish they would have, instead of doing the elimination game modes, which I'll be honest, I didn't set foot into. Hey, Crucible Labs, hey, remember that, guys?
Yeah.
If they had brought like some version of trials out, like don't put the veteran, don't put the cards in, but just say here's trials as a game type. Put that in lieu of the elimination and say, hey, step foot into this. This is trials. We're going to set it up for a couple different ways and have people play that and use that as a test. Because I think a lot of people saw elimination and said, why do I care about that? But I feel like if it was for like actual trials, like this is what it'll be, I would have maybe jumped into it, at least said, hey, this is how this is going to work. Let me get a taste of this. Let me at least play a little bit in the 3 or 4 weeks or whatever they ran the different the slightly different versions of, to give some feedback. Because I think they said, we collected feedback from the people who were maybe most dedicated about giving it, not from everybody else.
And whatever happened to them saying that they hired a bunch of YouTubers for like playtesting and whatnot? Are you telling me that none of the YouTubers
that's what Holtman continues to go back and do? He was back for like a week, and now he's back doing more playtesting. I mean, he's just the one I know of. I know he was back doing builds and videos and stuff for a week, and he's like, hey, go back to Bungie, going to do more playtesting. So I'm sure there's more folks out there that are doing it. He's just one of, I'm sure, many, or not going anywhere right now, because remember, Google Stadia is now playtesting. Because you can't bring anybody in anywhere to do it, so you got to do with what you have. And Google Stadia is a level-ish playing field as you're going to find right now.
Right. Yeah, and I always thought that was crazy. Like, don't you have like an army of YouTubers that tell you what's good and what's bad? Now they're complaining about everything. How was this not caught before it was released? Right. But moving on just a little bit, that paragraph that I'm just going to glance over because we did talk about it. They're thinking about making a mod slot which makes the weapon adept for people that make it to the lighthouse. So there's that. Last paragraph says, we know many of you are far more concerned about cheaters and titans ruining your trips to the lighthouse, and rightfully so. It's a punch in the gut from a titan to lose on your final game to titans to someone with a fully automatic Whisper of the Worm and a titan. And let's now take some time to update you on the cheater war effort.
So if you do really want to know all about the cheater stuff, it's in the TWAB, but we will just kind of quickly cover it because there is quite a lot. So they do go on to speak about letting David Aldridge tell us about what's going on with cheaters. So apparently the percentage is up 50% since January, which we knew was going to happen. DDoSing attacks aren't really happening on PC, but they're still happening on consoles. And they're going to try and tackle both things, especially with these aimbots and everything else that's happened. I mean, they say that the ban hammer hasn't been idle, and they're averaging 656 bans or restrictions per week and 2,133 punishments per week.
Yeah, they're doing 650, like, before Season of the Worthy, they're doing 656 bans a week.
Oh, okay.
In the first 4 weeks after the launch, it's more than tripled to, over 22,000 bans a week they've been handing out.
And a couple things worth mentioning, because when you guys mentioned how many bans are going out on Activision, well, the reason that number isn't going out on Bungie, for those that aren't in the know, is because Bungie actually takes every ban, every person that they think is cheating, and somebody manually looks over the footage to make sure that they are cheating before the ban hammer comes down. And another thing of note, because this is a lot of stuff, like you said, go read it in the TWA, but the thing that you should know if you're listening to the podcast is that if you end up somehow on a fire team with a cheater, you will also get hit with the ban hammer.
So if you're LFGing and you end up with a cheater, leave the match. Yeah, if you're LFGing and you ride that cheater to flawless, you're going to get punished just like the cheater does. Basically, if you're benefiting from that cheater and don't leave, you're going to get the ban hammer brought down on you.
Absolutely. And I read some stuff earlier about a lot of people complaining, well, what if this, what if that, what if you can't tell he's a cheater, this and that and the other. And there are some subtleties.
You can tell.
You can't necessarily tell if somebody's wall.
If you don't kill anybody and they've killed all the kills in the whole 5 rounds, that's a cheater.
We have done that in the times that we've played, dude.
We haven't gone flawless though.
No, we haven't gone flawless, but no,
we're not doing that 40 matches in a row.
Every kill in a match. There were times when I got every kill in a match, and there were times where Peroty has never gotten any kills in any matches. So
right, but we're not doing that over 35 games to a flawless. 1 or 2 matches, whatever. But you're not doing that. And again, and this is also why they're basically, DMG put out in a tweet basically said, if you're playing legit, you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, but if they're using a wall hack, also applies an aimbot, how are you going to know that they're using a wall hack? Because they're not.
Still, again, this is if you're
if it's obvious, leave. Report them,
some of this is on you.
Yeah,
and there's also they also go into detail saying if you're doing an account recovery and you're saying, I either one, never let anyone you don't know recover your account. Just don't do it. Well, I paid a guy $20 online or $100 online and take my thing, and he cheated, and now my account got banned because he cheated. Well, you gave him your account. Exactly. You gave him your account. You're going to get punished for it. Don't give your account to strangers.
I think account recovers is cheating. Even if they legitimately run your account to the tower, you still cheated by letting someone else play on your account. That's not you. It's somebody else.
Right. But
that I agree with.
Yeah, but just be clear, Bungie, you can, if you've got a buddy who wants to recover your account who that's not technically cheating. If your buddy recovers your account and he cheats, your account's going to get banned whether you did it or not, because Bungie doesn't know who's playing the account. It's your account. Mm-hmm. So play legit, play fair, or you're going to get banned for cheating. That's the nuts and bolts of this.
Yeah.
And obviously Bungie doesn't go into a lot of detail about how and why and what they're doing about all of this, because you're not going to tell people, hey, here's how we're going to stop you from cheating, because they're just going to work around that first.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and that person, if you LFG with somebody and you do suspect them of cheating, Bungie says not only should you leave, yes, you will get the temporary suspension for leaving a game, but it's better than getting a permanent ban. And report the person that you thought was cheating and submit any footage that you have to help Bungie get rid of these people in general. So
that's it. What do you guys actually think about one of the ways they're maybe thinking of tackling this is to have an account have 100 hours worth of play time before they're allowed to play in trials?
I like it.
I mean, I've got no issue with that because I'm a Destiny player and I've played my 100 hours, and I think if you're a committed player and you wanted to play trials from the get-go, you'd have put in those 100 hours. So I don't see there's an issue.
You're not accounting for new light players, but
if you're a new light player and you want to get into playing trials,
you're not going to be high enough anyway.
You'll want to put in the effort to then stay in trials, wouldn't you?
You're gonna have to put 100 hour. You're gonna have to put 100 hours in to get to 1,000 or 1,200.
Yeah.
1,100.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. To jump into trials before you put in that 100 hours, the experience you're going to have is horrible.
Yes.
Yeah, but
So,
they also said
so that being a wall to entry also just gets you into the game long enough that you're have a chance at having at least some success or some enjoyment out of it.
right, and they were saying that a good way to suspect somebody is a cheater is if they're in trials and their light is 964, 966, somewhere around there. If their light is like right at the minimum to get into trials,
And they're
most
destroying
likely-
everyone.
Yeah, you might want to be suspicious of low light people in trials because they probably just ran up an account just to play.
Yeah. Low light people in trials that are, getting every kill every game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else we got? We got the new Guardian's Heart thing.
Bungie has raised over $600,000.
Yep.
Some of my money, some of Nitedemon's money.
If you give them money for COVID-19 support, you get an emblem, which is not covered in hearts. Weirdly enough, it's a decent looking emblem. They're raising money. Donate. You get an emblem. It's not a bad emblem, and you get to help COVID-19 something. I don't know. Buy a mask or a pair of gloves or something. Whatever they're donating to help COVID-19.
Direct Relief is the charity organization, and as of this recording, they've raised $651,414.15 out of the $700,000 goal, which they are going to blow right by because I don't remember how long this goes for, and this page doesn't say. But
until April 30th, it does say read ahead.
well, there we go. So in the next 6 days, we're gonna, as a community, pass another $50,000. And the Direct Relief, it's a humanitarian organization that works in all 50 states and more than 80 countries, basically the world, regardless of where you are, what you're doing, giving money towards COVID-19 because we're all in this together.
And if you donate $50, you will get a pin that's on the All Hearts emblem. So it's three little hearts. You get the pin if you donate $50 or more. And following that, we have Twitch Prime rewards, which are crap, but they're free exotics.
No. You can have the s'mores exotic emote, so you can make s'mores with all your friends. You can have the Star Mapico shell and the Whip Crack legendary sparrow. But most importantly, have you ever wanted to escape through the universe under the cover of daylight in the largest ship in the world? We have the Death the Kells exotic ship, which you should use because it's freaking massive. I have it on my Warlock. I've never taken it off because it just makes me smile. It's the biggest.
Warlock. That's why.
Hey, the Hunter and the Warlock need some space to stretch out while they're not being played. So I put them in the nice big ship.
Are you overcompensating for something?
Yes, he is.
The Warlock's trying to. Yeah, my shoulders. Just like in this. But yeah, Twitch Prime rewards. That's the new badge. No weapons, no gear, just pretty things to play with. If you're signed up, go hit the page again, get some more things. They'll be waiting in Anna, or in a Mana holiday for you in the tower.
So, continuing his sexy, smooth voice, he's going to now tell you about the known issues and emerging issues. Take it away, Peroty.
There are some emerging and known issues. So, we're still looking at the Watercress and Newt errors. Our teams are still working on a fix for these issues. They're also looking into the Anteater, Beaver, and Rabbit connection-based error codes. And we have a bunch of current known issues because it wouldn't be a game if we didn't. On Your Laurels Guardian Games quest sometimes doesn't go into players' inventories, or Eva Lamante keeps offering the quest to players. So Guardian Games, broken in exciting ways. The Void Feast Guardian Games bounty does not count kills while Devour is active. Sorry, Warlocks, that's why you're being hampered. Also, Warlocks, you're going to have to get 10 charged melee kills using the bottom tree of your Voidwalker subclass. The Lethal Buddy Guardian Games bounty does not progress for the Arc Soul kills from the get. Hey, I think I figured out why the Warlocks aren't doing well here, guys. So you can't use your Arc Soul from your Getaway Artist to get your Arc Soul kills for that Lethal Buddy bounty. Warlocks have to use the Attunement of Elements Stormcaller subclass if they are wearing the Getaway Artist exotic gauntlets. So Warlocks, really, you just need to have a book in front of you when you start the Guardian games to know how to play them, because there's a lot of caveats and footnotes you need to take into account. So the Show Your Colors Guardian game triumph shows as account-based, but must be completed on a single character. The Daily Seraph weapon acquired from the Rasputin Bunker can no longer be claimed, even if the player ranks reaches 52 on their Season Pass. So, sorry, rank 92, you get nothing. As always, for a full list of emergent issues, go to the Known Issues article, we'll link in the show notes. If you have an issue or think you're seeing an issue, go to the help forums at Bungie and let them know about issues. And if you can, provide, just like we're reporting cheaters, provide some evidence, give them a clip, give them some information so they can start looking into these things. And with that, we've reached the end of the TWAB.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. Tomorrow we'll have part 2 of our show as the guys return from the Two Titans and a Hunter podcast, and we'll continue our interview with each of them. We'll have a heated discussion of the new Guardian games happening now in Destiny 2. A triple speedrun competition will be there, Twitter and Discord questions from our community, and finally we'll be adding our songs to the Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify and iTunes. But for now, everyone be good to one another. And thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
I had a question, but I forgot.
Our podcast is more about interviewing community members, and your podcast is more about the particular
Fucking with each other?
tips and tricks and all that stuff. Well, that too.
Yeah.
That goes without saying.
That's my job. That's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
So
Hazel and Respawn.
Got to.
Yeah, Respawn and Hazel are going to get along just fine tonight. Let me just apologize in advance, Nitedemon, because you're probably going to have to put a lot of dolphins in tonight, because Hazel, that's all I can tell you.
That's fine.
I'm sober, okay? I'm not even drinking yet. So,
Okay, yet.
Yeah.
The sun is still out.
He's British Dad on the podcast.
Oh, boy.
Off the podcast, he's drunkard in a pub.